Hurricane Harvey has recently crashed into Houston and surrounding areas. How is it affecting Rock Hill? And how is Houston doing now?
Construction has taken over the Richardson and Wofford parking lots by Cherry Road. We will tell you what it's for.
I'm here at Legal Remedy Brewing Company, and you wouldn't think that a brewery would have much to celebrate, but this one sure does.
Can you still hear me, Sydney? Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Nick Gibson.
And I'm Taylor Simpson.
The fall semester began with a phenomenon as South Carolina observed the solar eclipse.
Try not to scratch or bend the actual lenses.
Well, came for the eclipse. My wife was here, and we drove down from Massachusetts. So we had I have solar filters made for my binoculars, my spotting scope, my long lens here, and we have our regular viewing glasses, and a lot of photo equipment.
Today we're doing 2 balloon launches. So we're going to be down there on the roof, and we're going to be launching 2 high altitude balloons. So these are weather balloons with payloads on them, and our main purpose today is to get live video. So one of our payloads on the balloon is going to have a video camera facing downwards that's going to be capturing video of actually the shadow of the eclipse on the Earth, and it's going to be sending it down to the ground station behind me here, and we're going to be live streaming it out on the internet.
So we're part of the CATE experiment, the Citizen CATE experiment. So this is a group of 68 telescopes across the continental United States, set up roughly every 50 miles or so. And what we're going to do is get continuous footage of the total eclipse from Portland, Oregon, all the way to Charleston, South Carolina. That'll take about 90 minutes. So what we'll have is 90 minutes of continuous footage of the corona of the sun.
The next total solar eclipse over North America will be in the Northeast in 2024.
Winthrop students, faculty, and staff can expect to see some changes coming to Cherry Road and Winthrop's campus. Cherry Road is getting a major facelift, and the Winthrop community will benefit from these upcoming changes. The city of Rock Hill, along with the York County Pennies for Progress project, are working with the university to create safer walkways for students. Construction has already begun behind Wofford and Richardson, where 20 parking spaces were located.
One student death from that wall, not being able to get away from a car coming over the curb, is worth 1,000,000 parking places. That's the way we should look at it. There is no price you can put on safety, especially for our students.
Having a wider sidewalk will allow students to have better access to eat at local restaurants and shop at local drugstores. Construction is expected to finish by the end of 2018.
A tragedy has recently occurred in Houston, Texas, and it is affecting more than just their city. Our very own Josh Rogers fills us in.
Hurricane Harvey brought devastation to Houston and hurt the entire country. For those in Rock Hill, the hurricane affected the price of gas.
Gas prices in Rock Hill have gone up about 40 cents in the last week, which is equivalent to a 16% increase. That's a pretty big difference.
Gas prices are increased because of simple supply and demand, and with some of the major refineries shut down in Texas and Louisiana, there is a lower distribution of gas.
I've seen estimates of about 2 million barrels being affected per day, with all the little refineries added up and then the big refineries put in there. So we're looking at about 2 million barrels that are either slowly coming back online or offline for a little while. it changes things because the demand is pretty consistent with oil.
One Texas A&M student told us that even though this is hard for everyone, many people have joined together to rebuild the community.
So many people would start giving up that weekend to go down to Houston, to tear down homes, to tear down drywall, concrete, to clean up all the debris and disaster that was happening throughout the neighborhoods. A&M's always been a school that bands together to like help the community, but it was incredible seeing how much more it still had in the tank for something that was obviously so close to home.
This is Josh Rogers, Winthrop Close Up.
In the wake of Harvey, Hurricane Irma worked her way up the coast, and Winthrop provided a safe place for College of Charleston students. The Cougars arrived in buses driving from Charleston to Columbia and up to Winthrop. They stayed in Richardson Ballroom from the 10th to the 13th after the storm cleared.
I'd say the only inconvenience with something like this is just not having a defined structured schedule for having classes, for getting work done. It's just you're kind of stranded.
Although being away from school can be difficult, students took advantage of their access to digs, the game room, and their break from classes. I'd say the only inconvenience. Hurricane Irma did not damage the state as much as expected, but the coordination of South Carolina schools ensures safety for the students. And then we will look at the barbershop for the pros.
A barbershop can be more to a community than just a place to get your hair cut. Reporter Taylor Simpson takes us into a local Rock Hill barbershop.
Cut Creators is a barbershop established by twin brothers Cleavon and Javon Bradley in 2004. The shop is a staple in the Rock Hill area, involving themselves in community service projects. Cut Creators is also significant by cutting the hair of local professional athletes.
Mostly every jersey that you see in pictures, all those have been here. Jonathan Joseph, Sheldon Brown, Ben Watson, Toy Gurley, Stephon Gilmore, Clowney's been here, a little bit of everybody.
A barber that has been working at Cut Creators for a year explains the atmosphere throughout the barbershop.
What I like about Cut Creators, we all one big family in here, man. Ain't nobody never will. We talk down on each other regardless. We joke with each other, but at the end of the day, everybody a big family. We mentor people, we go give back, we do what we need to do, man.
A frequent customer from New York justifies why his barbershop family are his closest friends.
You can be as famous as Jerry Rice or something, I don't know, and come in here and get your hair cut. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna treat you like family, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. This is what it's all about. This is the glue that keep the black community together.
Come to Cut Creators. It's not just a place where you can get your hair cut, but you can feel the family atmosphere. Taylor Simpson, Winthrop Close Up.
Cut Creators is located on Albright Road and open 7 days a week. Besides haircuts, they also do eyebrows and cut women's hair.
A local area business recently celebrated its Beerthday. Close Up Sydney Whitman was on hand and files this report.
That's the sound of Legal Remedy Brewing Company celebrating its 2-year anniversary of being open on Saturday, August 26th.
Well, Legal Remedy beer is really special because we realize that everybody has different tastes, and so what one person might love might not be something that another person loves. So we just have a huge variety, and we're always trying to innovate, and we're always trying to have fun with it because it's beer and it should be fun.
With all the space the brewery has to offer, it has hosted yoga and Pilates classes, as well as a slew of musical guests throughout the summer. At their Beerthday, they had performances from The Eyebrows, Walter Ego, The Long Canes, and more.
I just really like the atmosphere. It's very family friendly. It's just a good place to hang out. It's always nice to go outside when the weather's nice, hang out with some friends.
For some events, food trucks come to the restaurant to serve from a special menu. Head to Legal's Facebook page or their website to learn about more of their upcoming events. I'm Sydney Whitman, Winthrop Close Up.
Microbreweries are growing in popularity, and it's nice to have one right here in Rock Hill.
Up next, we will talk with Xavier Cooks about his summer basketball experiences.
And then we will catch up with Max Hasenstab on the recovery and his return to Winthrop soccer. Welcome back to Winthrop Close Up. Briauna Kilgore has the sports.
Thanks, guys. One of the star contributors to the men's basketball team got a chance to play for his country in the World University Games this year. Winthrop Eagles' second leading scorer, Xavier Cooks, had the honor to play for Australia in the World University Games, which is the college equivalent to the Olympics. The tournament was in Taipei and included 24 teams from the United States, Estonia, Israel, and more.
It was a great experience. Anytime you can play for your country is always a great opportunity. And in my opinion, anytime you get an experience under your belt to play international basketball, that's always a good experience as well. A lot from international basketball. It's a whole different style of game. It's a lot more physical, a lot more skill related, less one-on-one. But it was a great experience. Like I had a great time in Taipei for the 17 days I was there, and it was great.
Cooks averaged 12.8 points per game throughout the tournament. He also helped to lead his team to a victory over the eventual gold medal winner, Lithuania, in group play, with Australia beating Canada to finish 9th overall. The women's soccer team recorded their third win of the season by beating USC Upstate 2-1. Were all the Lady Eagles needed to defeat the Spartans. Allie Thomas put the Eagles on the board in the 18th minute after a misplayed ball off the head of a USC defender. At the 25th minute, Gabby Hull's rising shot going to the top corner of the goal just past the outstretched arms of the goalie.
Our team played well together. We're really whatever we're working on in practice is really coming out in our games, and we're just really, everything's coming together now. So.
Those first 2 goals were really imperative to our success. We had good combinations, and that's what we've been working on in practice.
The Spartans did get on the board with a goal at the 32-minute mark, but it wouldn't be enough. Winthrop would end up with a 16-shot own goal to 8 for USC Upstate. Goalie Kelly Horn would finish the night with 3 saves. The Lady Eagles improved to 3-2-1 of the season. The men's soccer game had a tough first half against USC Upstate before putting the game away. Eagle forward Ramses Arzel headed a free ball into the goal to give Winthrop a 1-0 lead. That's the way the first half would end, but the second half was a different story, as the Eagles would go on to score 3 more goals for a 4-0 lead.
We got lucky to come out 1-0 at halftime. But the second half, the game opened up a lot, and both the defense and the offense played really good. So we could have, it ended 4-0, but it could have been more.
Defended well as a team. Did not let the other team have some chances. So we were lucky to score a goal with Rasmus, and then the second half we performed a lot better. Finished the game off when we scored the second and third goal. I think after the third 3-0, the game was done.
The Spartans had several chances to score in the second half, but the Eagles stopped them cold and came away with a 4-0 shutout. The Eagles are currently 2-3-1 on the season. The return of the captain and top goal scorer, Max Hasenstab, has boosted morale for the team. Ramses Arzel has the story.
Redshirt senior Max Hasenstab is returning to the field after missing the entire last season due to a knee injury. The German forward tore his ACL, and after a year of hard rehab, he's now back to fitness.
There's a lot of issues involved in the whole process. It's really tough mentally and physically. Last year I did 3 to 4 hours of rehab a day. You start to do range of motion exercises, which are really painful because obviously there's a lot of scar tissue build up.
Well, it's been looking good since it came back in the fall. It's been a long process. It's been about 1.5 years. He's got a good work ethic. He's some athletes, they don't want to come in when they have a couple setbacks, things like that. But Max is always showing up, always coming in, wanting to push through it and get back on the field.
The Eagles started the season promising after defeating Watford 3-0 in the home season opener, a game in which Max Hasenstab scored all 3 goals. The Eagles will open conference play on September 23 here at Rock Hill. I'm Rasmus Arvsdal for Winthrop Close Up.
It's good to see that Max has made a full recovery. To make sure you don't miss any of the action, check out the Winthrop Athletic page for games, dates, and times.
The even better part about out of all of the sports that I've seen is Xavier Cooks is back in action. So
Yeah, and did you see the amazing goals by Max? And it's good that he made a fantastic recovery.
it really is. It really is. So that wraps up this edition of Winthrop Close Up.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. See you next time on Winthrop Close Up.